Hey guys, it's Bryony. So today I'm going to be doing a video comparing menstrual cups to cloth pads. Now my whole channel is about talking on the pros and cons to using both menstrual cups and cloth pads separately. I've done loads of videos on these products, but I don't think I've ever compared them capacity wise before. They are kind of different, they serve different purposes, but ultimately they are forms of menstrual protection, and some people I think will be really interested to see just how much each of these are capable of holding, particularly the cloth pads, because a lot of the time the questions that people have about cloth pads are, do they leak? Also, please forgive the dishwasher going in the background. I'm trying to grab a point in the day where I can film this when my period cramps aren't bad, because I'm on my period right now. So today I'm going to be comparing a generic 20ml capacity, which is an average small menstrual cup, to a moderate and a heavy cloth pad, and these are both Precious Stars, by the way. So let's get into it. So for this little comparison, I'm just using two cloth pads. As I said before, a generic cup that a company sent me ages ago for materials testing, but it's 20ml, which is the average capacity that a small menstrual cup can hold. I've got a mug of warm water here, just sort of room temperature water, and I think this is a dessert spoon, just a typical dessert spoon, and also some paper toweling to put underneath the pads. So let's begin with the menstrual cup. Please forgive my voice, it's I've got a croak in my throat at the moment. But 1, 2, that wasn't actually quite a full one. Let's do this. 3, about 3.5 I reckon. 3.5 these dessert spoons is up to the holes on the menstrual cup for the water. The camera's at an angle so you can't really see, but it is just up to the holes, which is 20ml on this particular cup. And on average, a woman will bleed around 6 to 8 teaspoons of blood throughout her entire cycle. So one of these can last up to 12 hours on someone with a light to moderate flow. And even for me, on my heaviest day, which can be reasonably heavy, I could wear a menstrual cup like this for about 6 hours, no problem. So let's move on to the pad. Now I'm not expecting the pads to hold as much as the entire menstrual cup, although the heavy one might actually manage it. A cloth pad is designed to be worn for around the same length of time that you would wear a typical disposable, so in my case this was probably around 3 to 4 hours. And we'll start with the moderate. Bear in mind also these pads have been rinsed but not washed, so they have been rinsed once and dried, but usually pads will take around 3 washes to reach their maximum absorbency, so just bear that in mind that they might absorb a little bit more, but we should get a pretty good test. Okay, so here is 1. And I'm going to do this slowly. There we go. That's 1 tablespoon. Well, dessert spoon, sorry. And we'll do 2. Spread it out a little bit along here. Okay. Also, water is thinner than blood. The saying blood is thicker than water isn't just a saying, it is actually true. So it wouldn't spread out as much when you actually bleed on a cloth pad. Let's just check underneath. Yeah. No sign of spillage there. So that is 2 dessert spoons so far. Let's do a third one. Okie dokie. Give that a minute to sink in. In fact, we'll press it down a bit as well to make sure that we have the same sort of pressure that you'd get when you're pushing it against your body. Yeah, we're still good. So let's try. How many have we done? We've done 3 so far. So let's do the half, because it was 3.5 for 1 menstrual cup. Okay. And that is still good to go. Actually, I'm quite surprised by that. I didn't think this would hold as much as this. I'm quite shocked. Right, let's do another half, because as I said before, this will make it 4 tablespoons now. So now there's 4 tablespoons on here. I'm going to just press to make sure we really get this into the pad, because if you're wearing it against your body, it's going to be snug. Okay. Here we go. There's a few little bits of water coming through now, and I think they're coming through the wing actually, which is quite interesting because as I said before, the blood wouldn't spread out like this. But I'm going to stop it at this and say that this has held around 4 dessert spoons full of water, which is actually around the same, slightly more than a 20ml menstrual cup. So now let's see how much the heavy can hold. The heavy is 12 inches, by the way, and the moderate is 10 inches. Please ignore this spot. I just dripped water on it when I was bringing the spoon back into the cup. But let's start with 1 tablespoon. Dessert spoon, sorry. I think this is a dessert spoon. Please somebody tell me if I've got the wrong name for this thing. There's 2. There is 3. Let's put some down the end as well, where you sometimes get a bit of a tail blood if you're a heavy bleeder. And 4. Okay. Just give that a moment. Let's put some pressure on. And let's have a look underneath. Yep, still good. This little speck here is from the moderate pad, by the way. So we've got to 4. Let's do 5. To there. Okay, let's go for 6. Then we'll take a break. 6, and some more at the end as well. Let's press that in. You can see when I pull the spoon along that there's no water sort of popping up through as well, which is a good sign. Some pressure. We're still good to go with 6. There's nothing dripping down. Right, try 7. Oh, I think we might have reached the max here. Okie dokie. That is 7 dessert spoons of water. Put some pressure on this. And lift it up. Yeah, there we go. Now it's starting to come through. So I'm going to say this held about 6.5 teaspoons of water. There's a bit of fluff on there. 6.5 dessert spoonsful of water. So here is our lovely moderate and heavy pad that we just used. And I managed to find a dessert syringe in my kitchen and worked out that one of these dessert spoons is around the same amount as 7.5 milliliters of water. The moderate pad, which held around 4 tablespoons of water, holds around 30 milliliters of fluid. And the heavy pad, which held around 6 dessert spoons of water, can hold around 60 ml of fluid. So hopefully this video has helped to reassure you guys that cloth pads do work and they are considered very absorbent. You can choose the absorbency level you need for your period, and the great thing about cloth is that it is so adaptable. You can change the shape or the size that you need depending on your period flow. Obviously the pads I use in this video are my own brand, Precious Stars, and the reason I use them today is because there's actually a sale currently on Precious Stars website for 15% off on one of the ranges, so be sure to go and check that out. The link is down below. But also because I know exactly what goes into them, so I know they are exactly the average of a moderate and a heavy flow pad that's used in the cloth pad world. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Please subscribe. Also, this weekend on Saturday between 2 p.m. and 4 p.m, I'm going to be in London in Shoreditch at a pop-up shop which is helping to raise awareness for period poverty, and they're selling all sorts of products to help a wonderful campaign out in Africa. If you saw my video on how you can help stop period poverty, you'll know what this charity is doing, and I will put a link at the end of this video so you can go and watch that one as well. If you're in London or if you can get to it, please feel free to come along and say hi, and I can always answer any of your period questions, and there might even be a little showing of how to make your own cloth pad there too. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Please subscribe. As I said before, don't forget you can get cloth pads and menstrual cups from my website, Precious Stars, down below. Follow me on all my social media to get more info, especially about that event if you want to know where it is, and I will see you next week. Bye, guys.